Airplanes. These massive machines, weighing hundreds of tons, somehow manage to lift off the ground and soar through the skies, carrying us across the globe. But have you ever stopped to wonder, how do airplanes actually fly? What keeps them from falling out of the sky? Let's break it all down in a way that's simple and fascinating. First, let's start with the basics. The entire concept of flight boils down to one key principle: aerodynamics, or how air interacts with solid objects. For airplanes, this boils down to four main forces: lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Lift is what pushes the airplane upward, allowing it to defy gravity. Gravity, or weight, is the downward force pulling the plane toward Earth. Thrust is what propels the airplane forward, and drag is the air resistance trying to slow it down. For a plane to fly, lift has to be greater than weight, and thrust has to overcome drag. Sounds simple, right? But how do we achieve that balance? The magic of lift starts with the wings, specifically their shape. Airplane wings are designed with a unique shape called an airfoil. When air flows over the curved top of the wing, it has to travel faster than the air flowing beneath the flat bottom of the wing. This creates a pressure difference, with lower pressure on top and higher pressure below. That difference generates lift, pushing the plane upward. This principle is known as Bernoulli's principle. Faster moving air creates lower pressure. However, lift isn't just about pressure differences. When air hits the wing, it gets deflected downward. According to Newton's third law of motion, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So, as the wing pushes air down, the air pushes the wing up. But lift alone isn't enough. To get the airplane moving, we need thrust, and that's where the engines come in. There are two main types of engines in airplanes: jet engines and propellers. Jet engines work by sucking in air, compressing it, mixing it with fuel, and igniting it. This creates an explosive force that shoots out the back of the engine, propelling the plane forward. Think of it like blowing up a balloon and letting it go. The air escaping pushes the balloon forward. Propellers, on the other hand, spin rapidly to create a flow of air, pulling the airplane forward. Regardless of the type of engine, the goal is the same: to generate enough thrust to overcome drag and keep the plane moving forward. Now let's talk about control. Once the plane is in the air, how does the pilot steer it? The secret lies in the plane's control surfaces. The wings have movable parts called ailerons, which tilt the plane from side to side, allowing it to roll. The tail has a rudder, which controls side-to-side movement, or yaw. And the elevators on the tail help the plane climb or descend by controlling its pitch. Together, these control surfaces let the pilot maneuver the plane with precision. But here's something you might not realize. Modern airplanes are so advanced that much of the flying is done by computers. Autopilot systems handle everything from maintaining altitude to plotting the most efficient course. Pilots are there to monitor and step in when needed, especially during takeoff and landing. Now, you might wonder, what happens when something goes wrong? Airplanes are designed with multiple safety systems to ensure that a single failure doesn't lead to disaster. For example, most modern planes have redundant systems: backup controls, engines, and instruments. Even the wings themselves are built to be incredibly flexible. You've probably noticed them wobbling during turbulence. That's by design. The flexibility prevents them from snapping under stress. Speaking of turbulence, let's address a common fear. Why doesn't turbulence bring a plane down? Turbulence is just irregular air movement, like waves in the ocean. Planes are built to withstand far more turbulence than they typically encounter. So while it might feel unsettling, the plane is perfectly safe. Airplanes are an incredible feat of engineering, combining physics, technology, and human ingenuity. Every time you board a flight, you're experiencing the result of decades of innovation. From the Wright brothers' first flight in 1903 to today's supersonic jets, aviation has come a long way. And let's not forget about the environmental impact. Aviation contributes to carbon emissions, but the industry is working on sustainable solutions, like electric planes and biofuels. Who knows? The future of flight might look very different. So the next time you look up at the sky and see a plane cruising overhead, take a moment to marvel at the science behind it. From the shape of the wings to the roar of the engines, every element plays a part in making the impossible, flying, possible. And remember, No matter how routine air travel feels today, it's still one of humanity's greatest achievements. So, where will your next flight take you?